The Crash Course Podcast is brought to you in part by DerbyParts.com.
The 2015 Ladina Grand Slam, Full Lockwood Motorsports, and the 2015 Keystone Nationals.
Scioppa Racing and ScioppaRacing.com.
Ultimate Derby and Blizzard Bash 2015.
Demo Derby Master. Reckless Abandon Derby Apparel at RecklessAbandonGear.com. And Derby Inc. Magazine. Live it, breathe it, be it, Derby Inc. This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby Podcast, recorded live at the FingerLakes1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York. And now your host, Chris Marquardt.
Sure there.
A little bit.
Out of practice.
A little bit. Week off left some rust on us. We're going to, programming note, we're going to be off next Monday as well, because we're going to have that procedure here to get all this junk cut out of here. We should be all good to go after that, though, for the rest of the summer. Big week on deck. Derby season is here in full force. We're going to be catching up with Sam Williams here in just a few minutes, the winners of the Team Derby at Hot Rockin Fourth, talking with Tom Woodbury, who's excited to be qualified for the Northeast Championship, and it completely opens the door for Tommy now with Team Vermont and the opportunity to run as wide open as they want to in the Team Derby coming up at the Northeast Championship this week. And then we're going to wrap up talking a little bit with Scott Keefer. We saw Scott Keefer in the opening of the program there just a moment ago when he was down there in Penn Yan last year and had the roof opened up on the top of his car. Brian Tompkins, you were there and had the opportunity to see that happen pretty much firsthand. You weren't entirely sure what was going on, but you had a chance to run down there and see that and what a show that was.
Yeah, that was pretty strange. I hit somebody and wung a donut, and the first thing I saw was the car up in the air that was on top of him, and I went, I'm going to hit this guy and tip him over. And then I went, whoa, wait, that doesn't look good. And just kind of
It's a convertible under there.
Yeah, it was. And I sat there for a few minutes before I realized my car was still running, so I shut that off, and then, it was definitely pretty nerve-wracking. I'd never seen nothing like that.
I actually run the heat before that. And I was standing with Brett and Richie and Jesse. And when he went over the wall, dude, ask him. I was screaming. I jumping up and down screaming, because you went over the wall and stuff. And then all of a sudden, that guy's roof got cleared, and it got quiet. Like, it just went from me like this. I was like,
you could absolutely hear a pin drop on
It
that
was
happen.
scary.
We talked with him a little bit. We've interviewed him a couple times, but here we are this week. Tomorrow is the first night of the Yates County Fair coming up. Wednesday is the first night of Broome Tioga. And then on the 10th, which is Friday, is the second night of Broome Tioga.
just Tioga.
Oh, it's just
Tioga.
Tioga. Okay.
Just
So
a week
Broome's a
fair.
different
Yeah.
county.
See, we go.
Yeah.
Everything has the same name down there.
Yeah, there's
But-
a lot of names.
Broome and
But there's going to be a ton of half-drunk motorsports shirts in memory of Mike Smith on display this week. So it's going to be good to see that outpouring of support. Saturday is championship night for Yates County. It's also the Madison County Fair over in Brookfield is this weekend. And then they wrap up the Northeast Championship as well. On top of all that periphery demolition
Well, we're
derby
gonna
action, we are going to be in Brookfield, in Brookville. That wasn't good. Which microphone was that blowing up?
Oh, that was loud.
That was not good, man. That's what happens when a mic cable goes bad.
When my cable comes undone.
Oops, is that what that was?
Can
But
we fire this guy.
man, that was painful. Anyway, we're going to
You can do better than this guy, can't you? Definitely, man.
we're going to the Keystone Nationals on Saturday.
That's gonna be all. I can't wait.
Got that whole program, all the parts and pieces now put together and falling in line as we had hoped. So
Yeah, it's gonna be good derby, man.
it's
Last
good.
year it was just nasty. Even in the rain, Pete was just kicking ass.
Check. Am I back on?
you are good. Yes. Yeah, we got you all set now.
Now, rumor has it that Josh Decker's got a car built and prepared to run at Keystone Nationals. Is there any truth to that?
That'd be
Or?
so awesome, but no.
All right, just checking.
I wish.
No, Josh Decker.
Have you seen the names
hang
on
on.
that
Whoa,
list
hang
that
on.
is
Whoa,
coming?
whoa, whoa,
It's
whoa,
gonna be
whoa,
good.
whoa, whoa.
Uh-oh. There's
Wait a
a surprise waiting.
I got my helmet.
It's not that Josh has a car built, but when you said prepared, that's probably accurate because Mad Mike DeFries has got like 60 cars down there.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna stay out of that battle down there. That's a tough derby. That's tough down there.
Yeah.
I love the track though.
And the
Track's
weather this
awesome.
weekend is going to be perfect. When that place gets hard and dry and fast, they're going to. If you thought the stock show was a ton of fun, wait till they have some noses on the front of them.
Yeah.
That's going to be a ton of fun.
Yeah.
I'm interested because like last year it was downpouring, and they were really in the gas. hitting each other a lot. I wonder, will they stay in the gas as much on a dry surface, or will everyone kind of slow the pace down a little bit? I'm interested to see what happens there.
You don't have the option of slowing the pace down. I mean, you've been down there a million times, Brett.
Well, they got a reputation. I mean, Brookville, they get it done. I believe it's going to be a wide open, fast pace like they always are. I mean,
And the quality is.
I've only ever ran down there once myself. I didn't have good luck, but man, when I see them going by me at 50, I'm like, whoa, I'm not used to this. But
Yeah.
Bo does one heck of a job.
Yeah.
I mean, he really does. And
That's like the first place where we started going, where everyone has big motors, big name motors, big name trannies, big rear ends. And that's when I first started, like, kind of getting that itch a little bit of, because our area is still a lot of stocker motors, guys building them. So down there, it was like every motor was like singing.
Scott Wallace was down there helping Bo, and he says, why don't you come down and check this out and potentially run? And I was gonna, and Richie says, well, I'm gonna go down and run. I said, I'll ride down with you. he did good until they decided he was all done, and they just put him out.
He had a Ford wagon, right? Like a 64
Yeah,
wagon.
63, yeah, Galaxy.
Wow.
So on the topic of all the remarkable names and some of the things that we've seen on there, as Brian started to get into here, the entry list down there, incredible.
Who's who? I mean, there's some great names on that list. Daryl Monroe, I believe, is on the list, right?
What?
Daryl Monroe's on the list.
What?
Yeah. Troy Tagg,
Man,
the
dude, people are
Psyopus.
spreading out now, huh?
Oh yeah, it's.
Ooh,
I mean,
this.
Bo put it out right before the original date, and it was. I mean, it was a veritable who's who of the Derby world.
I missed it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I missed it myself.
yeah.
That's good.
There was some
What
crazy
blew,
names.
what blew my mind was Jesse Keel. Did you hear he won this weekend?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see him.
1,200
He was in your show.
1,200. I didn't get to see it or nothing. I Facebooked him and asked him how
Yeah.
he did. 1,200 miles June
Yep.
east.
Yep.
1,200 miles west. I mean, he's getting some traveling done.
Yeah.
That's
Between him and
crazy.
Bandow, they got to be the most traveled drivers
yeah.
in the country. I mean, they've
Absolutely.
been to every side,
Well,
up and down.
Troy Tagg's gonna beat him because Troy's flying to Pennsylvania.
Well,
this
he's
week.
flying.
He's flying, but
Flying and hauling is way different.
but still, I mean, Troy's putting on a lot of miles too. I mean, Troy, they had the 12-hour drive, and inspection didn't go as they hoped, so they loaded up, went to another show, and walked
seen
out of
that.
there with like $8,000.
Yeah, I seen
Troy's
that.
Really?
Troy's son won. They DQ'd Troy on a bad driver's door shot. He got hit the guy in the front fender. They DQ'd him, but Troy's wife ran her first powder puff in Troy's
won it.
car
I've seen
and
that.
won it.
That's awesome.
Now, how far apart were these derbies?
2 hours.
Dude, Utah's like,
Really?
I remember I told you, we got to
Yeah.
move out there. We just got to go on a circuit,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, we got to move to Utah.
Well, on the topic of Utah, we've got the Hot Rockin Fourth, one of the team winner members, Sam Williams, also the promoter of Blizzard Bash, where we're going to be booking the flight. And unfortunately, we're going to assist you out on it, too. We're going to take the flights out instead of driving
Yes.
I'm all right with that.
to Topeka. But Sam, man, congratulations on the win. That's pretty awesome to hear.
Oh, thanks. We had a lot of fun. It was definitely a long trip out there, and we all made it back to at least Nebraska last night, and Jesse left this morning, headed for Minnesota. So it was a good time. It was a lot of awesome drivers out there, and it was definitely a tough tech, and we had a good time.
Are you sore?
Yeah, they drive a little bit different speed out there. I don't know that I've ever driven that hard. So it was in the heat. It came down to me and Jesse, and a couple of theirs, and we definitely rocked it out with them. And man, I took some door shots I've never taken in my life. And man, I told the one driver, man, you need to come sign my driver's door. That was insane. But it was a lot of fun. Those guys are just great competitors out there, and I'm not kidding you. If a heat lasts more than 6 or 7 minutes, they don't know what to do because man, they expect to get her over in 5. So
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
That's no exaggeration.
They're
We had
probably
the same
rolling
thing.
out of there with the back ends of the cars pretty straight.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy.
Nope, because usually they get hit in the back and they fold right over like scorpion tails.
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah. When they were that Cordoba, we saw 2 shots of cherry Cordoba. The rear bumper was in the window, broke the leaf springs right off the first shot.
Still got second.
Yeah, still got
Could have
second.
gotten first.
Yeah, that was something. But crazy.
coming out of the heat, my Cadillac had 0 back end. My rear end was the furthest thing sticking out of the back of my Cadillac. It never wiggled up front, but they absolutely tore the back end of my car off. So it's a different pace out there. But we put it back together for the feature and went out, and Ryan Simpson, Matt Schilling, Jesse, and I we drove as hard as we could, and the odds were a little bit against us in the feature, but we just kept plugging away and seeing what happened. So It was a good time.
What year caddy you run?
This one was a 72.
And obviously you probably closed the Y's net up front.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, we kind of had to get creative on how we did all that and got around some rules on that kind of stuff. So I mean, they definitely worked with us, and we spent a lot of time on those builds, and because we knew we were going up against the best of the best, and it's kind of unfortunate what happened with Troy and those guys. We definitely wanted to compete against them, and we wanted to. I mean, we did it against some of the best, and it would have been fun to have Troy and those guys out there. But I'm not sure what happened there, but some unfortunate stuff with them and the tech. So.
So you run a bunch of tracks. I know you run all over the place, but those tracks out there are a little intimidating. And when you start pulling on that track, did you guys have to do like a round? Did you guys start in a circle like usual? Okay.
Yeah.
Was that kind of intimidating, or how did you feel about that? Because that looks a little scary.
Well, the weird thing is man, you never know when they're going to take off either, because the announcer counts as 5-4, and then he gets quiet, and he's expecting the crowd to take off. Well, you got cars taking off on 4, you got cars taking off on 2.
Hell yeah.
We always took off, and then I said, you see the first one move, boys, don't you get caught sitting. And so, yeah, I mean, even we went into a strategy with a feature and saying, Jesse, let's try to get a car in between me and Jesse. Jesse had a leaf sprung forward. You hit your brakes, I'll stuff him in the hind end and see what we can do. And crap, that kid was around Jesse so fast, it was like, all right, well, that plane went right out the window. Now let's see what happens. It was a good time. What was great is, the guys we had to drive against last night, or the other night, they said it was kind of funny. They come over and they're like, man, we're so nervous. I'm like, yeah, so are we. Don't worry, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. And so we just talked all afternoon, just giving each other a hard time. What was great was our fourth driver, Ryan Simpson, out of Utah. He's from the same town most of those guys were from. So it was a good time. Most of those cars are from the same town that were out there in the feature, and at least the same area, and they've driven against each other for years. So it was fun just to say, hey, let's go wreck them all and have fun and shake hands at the end. And we sat there for an hour after the Derby and just talked and chatted and had fun and just laughed about the show. So it was a great time.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
This team derby thing is taking off like crazy now. We've got the team format show at Northeast Championship now that's this week. We're going to see Todd Height, Steelerface Racing, Jeremy Gully's making this trip out there. Full Throttle's going to be out there. The Hartman crew, they're on their way out there, in addition to seeing Team Vermont and New Hampshire and all the regular
Maine
players. Maine.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, Massachusetts. They're going to be out there.
You know what I just got thinking? Can you imagine how weird it would be? You take Troy, okay? He goes to this Derby, don't pass Tech or whatever. So let's just use Bull Show for example, Brookville. And then he says, well, let's just go a few hours north. And then all of a sudden he shows up at Yates County. Could you imagine hey, how do you find it? How do you do that? Like, do you just...
No, in Utah it's like
but
that.
that's how saturated Utah is.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It's nothing. It probably on that night, I bet you there was that night right there, I bet you there was $60,000 to $75,000 in prize money within a 6-hour radius.
We were, after we got done with the show that we just did, when we were out there, we were standing there talking with Gumby. And we asked him, we said, how come all the shows don't have more cars? And he said, because it's saturated. He said at any one point,
supply and demand.
Yeah,
the next morning there was a Derby for $4,000 to win the next day.
Yeah.
The next day when we were out there.
Yeah.
He said he said you can drive 40 miles in a 40-mile radius, and he said you can run for.
And how are they paying the money? I don't get it.
Because they sell out.
Dude, their fans is insane.
But the fans can hit all the there must be nothing to do.
No, exactly.
No, there isn't. You're right.
It's a family event.
You're in a desert.
Yes.
The whole family goes. I'll tell you what. We were sitting there and we were talking amongst ourselves. And I remember looking at the stands, and from where we were sitting in the upper right corner, there was a little spot that was open. I'm like, man, it's getting kind of late. And I look back down, and we continue talking. I look up, and it's completely full.
Standing room only full.
Yeah. When I got up, I went up to do the camera as they were doing the national anthem, and I panned, and from as far as I could with the camera, all there was people.
What was your guess? How many?
I think it was 8,500.
8,500. I think
Exactly, Brett.
Exactly, Brett.
Yeah, I think the stands were 8,500. I don't think that counted.
I think that the main stand was 8,500.
I thought their final count was 85.
But even still,
and is all the derbies out there okay? Like you got Sam or whatever. You got all these different promoters. Okay, some are different calibers and others. Some pay different money, different rules, a lot of different levels.
They've got unified rules out there now, mostly.
Yeah.
You're allowed one. I don't what they call it, like the clause or something that you can change.
I just can't imagine somebody of a certain caliber of a driver It just blows my mind. I cannot understand it. Hey, let's get on Facebook or WeCrash or whatever.
Listen,
there's a derby 2 hours north. Right? And then all of a sudden somebody of that caliber showing up, and then, us, let's use Waterloo, because that's,
That's around the corner.
That's around the corner. They, all of a sudden somebody like that shows up. You're like, what? What are you doing here?
One guy was telling us the stories that me and Brian were hearing.
Pays $500 to win.
One guy won $27,000 with one truck. He's like,
Yeah.
I just went around everywhere with one truck, $27 grand. Ask him. We were hearing numbers that were blown. I said, I need to move out here. You and I together could just go.
Our asses whooped.
You cover the money. You cover the money side. I'll be the labor.
Did you were you able to share any wisdom with the guys out there in terms of T format shows, given everything you've gone through with Blizzard Bash?
It was frustrating for them, I think, on some aspects, and then not on other aspects. I think they put up $16,000 for
Right.
first place. And so up until this year's Blizzard
Winning
Bash,
team.
that was the highest paying team show ever.
Right.
How much?
And so 16,000.
For the winning team.
That's what I thought I heard, but that didn't.
And so what's crazy about that is, by the time Tech got done and everything else, there were 7 teams that competed for 16,000. They made a lot of teams. This guy come over from here, and this guy joined this guy. And so, it was some weird teams, and it kind of turned into a weird deal by the time everything shook out. But, yeah, it was, when these guys rolled through Tech and they, things were, whatever happened on their cars, I have no idea, but whatever happened there, and they decided, they talked about it an hour later and go, okay, no problem, we'll all go to Delta tomorrow. And so, it was no big deal. It was, they obviously disappointed and frustrated, but, it was, the tough thing about Utah is, and I'm sure we deal with the same stuff at Blizzard Bash. You got to be so open-minded on the Tech side, because when you have somebody pull from 14 hours west to you and somebody pull from 14 hours east to you, that's a 28-hour spread of building.
Definitely.
And so the
Definitely.
crazy thing is how
things
I
different.
read the rules are going to be completely different based on Troy's experiences on how he reads the rules. And so that's definitely takes an open-minded Tech crew. And it was, I thought Johnny's crew did a good job, and Bobby Broccoli was there to help him. And so Bobby did a good job, and it was it's definitely a difficult situation for him. And and Utah is crazy. I've never seen so many educated fans. They all can talk derby. They talk drivers. They talk what this driver's done. And they're not families of derby families. They're just the general public who goes to derbies all over this state and just watch.
Yep.
And they treat it as a movie.
Oh, yeah.
It lasts more than 2.5, 3 hours. They're just there to see big hits. They don't even care. They just leave.
Absolutely
They're done.
right.
The future's still
Absolutely
coming.
right.
No big deal. We're done. That's
Yep.
2.5 hours long. We're done.
Seen enough.
So
absolutely
Sam,
right.
Good mentality.
besides obviously you were busy, and running the car and then fixing it for the feature. But at any point, did you say to some of those drivers, "Hey, I run kind of a decent sized team show. I'd love to have some of you guys come out and drive like this at my team." Was there any of that going on out there?
Oh yeah, they all knew who. They knew who we were. We ran Team Blizzard Bash, and so it was fun to have just all kinds of drivers come up and introduce themselves.
Did you recruit some guys to come back and run your?
Everybody wanted to look at our cars because we obviously build, based on what we see at Blizzard Bash and all the rest of the stuff. We build our cars similar to those, and so everybody, we were built pretty hard, and so everybody got to see all that kind of stuff and look the cars over, and a lot of guys were. It was amazing how many people were coming up from all over the country. There's a driver from Canada there going, "Hey, I'm signed up for Blizzard Bash. I'm signed up for Blizzard Bash." I'm like, "Great! I probably talked to 25 drivers out there that were already signed up."
That's
Awesome. Very good.
On the topic of this team craze that has sort of been taken over, Josh, you've got pretty much nothing left for your team show coming up in September.
Yeah, Brett and I decided we were going to do a team show. No, you didn't. Decided one night on the podcast you were going to say it. I don't know if you remember that like a year ago. You just said it.
So you ain't got to throw me under right now when I listen to Chris.
You just said it, and then we had it. No, but you know what?
I tried to spread the wealth, man. I did. I tried.
You set me up.
going to see like, of course, Blizzard Bash. Blizzard Bash.
Did I word that how you wanted?
Yeah, no, you did it perfect. That's good. Blizzard Bash to me was like, and Brian, it was amazing. We went to Blizzard Bash the first time, and then the second time, it like changed Demolition Derby to me. Totally changed it for me. And then coming back out this way, it's like our area really. Brockton's doing a team derby, but not like Blizzard Bash style. Not that ours is Blizzard Bash style, but we're trying to take that more of that format like he has. And
Brockton changed it this year. They got team heats this year instead of running everybody at once. I think they've got 12 teams signed up, and then they're running 4 heats with 3 teams each, and then only the winner advances, and then they're running a cumulative consi, and the team advanced out of that. So there's going to be 5 teams in the feature.
See, we're doing just straight heads up.
Our
We're
compacts are sold out.
sold out. We got about 4 or 5 spots left on V8 teams. And again, it's only 3 guys. So it's like you, your buddy, and just one other guy you need. And on our track, we remember what happened when we had 18 cars.
And people were saying they were sore. What's
Yeah.
going to happen?
I'm telling you right
I mean,
now,
we got a
there's
small
6.
track, but I'm here to tell you.
There's going to be shots like Blizzard Bash
I'm
style
not,
shots.
I'm by no means not saying Jim Beatty signed up for a team, but you think he was running a heavy hitter?
No. Stop. I can't say names.
I didn't say no names.
Okay, now
I said example.
Wait a minute.
Example.
Now Jim Beatty runs
He
yellow
got-
and black. He runs yellow and black a lot, and so does Brian and Dan Godfrey.
That's true.
But didn't Jim get heavy hitter this year? Didn't
Yes.
he? Okay, so I'm using him for an example.
Good example.
With 20 cars on
He's-
the track.
With 20 cars on a track. Yeah, no, but we've seen the
Now
names
there's only
coming
6.
in. It's going to be insane. I'm telling you, it's going to be for our area.
For our area,
For
yeah.
anyone that hasn't ever seen a team format, it's going to be really exciting. And I think like Brett's got some great ideas that we're going to do that. They throw some twist in it, like we did at Kings of Old School, and it's exciting. It's just a different style of demolition derby. We're all so used to, last one running, but this is going to be, I'm excited about.
Oh, yeah. It's
It's
going to be
be
cool.
nasty.
It's going to be cool.
And what's so cool is even with the team stuff is how fast guys they click with it. You could watch the first couple of heats out in Utah, or just trying to figure out how the team format works, and the pinning is new for everybody, and how in Utah, man, you're just looking for that kill shot all the time, and man, by the features, you see them driving different and looking for that, holding for their buddy, so their buddy could come in and pile you up. And I'm telling you what, there's some awesome drivers out there, and it was just fun to get to meet everybody. And there were a bunch of great people. But the team driving is a completely different deal, and that's where we kind of have a little bit of a leg up, like another heat, because we had team drove before, and so it's different. It's just a different mentality. And that's what most of the drivers said is we just weren't expecting that.
Yes,
that was different for us. So new teams, definitely research it and do your research on it, because it's definitely a different driving style.
Definitely.
Oh,
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely, which is going to be cool for our area because no one's used to it. No one's even seen it really.
Yeah.
Only a select few guys have gone.
I mean, there's been a couple attempts. Total Destruction did a couple of them, maybe 3 years in a row, and I think they had one in Cuba at one time that might even have been under Total Destruction as well. But we haven't gotten the full Monty yet, even right now, given that we've still got the Northeast Championship show to come this week, and then we've got yours. It's September 19th.
Yep, September 19th.
Yep. How's everything coming for Blizzard Bash anyway? There's that all put together, turnkey, ready to go. If it happened tomorrow, you'd be set.
Oh, jeepers. But we're getting closer. Right now we're building videos. We're doing everything for that. We are in full Blizzard Bash mode. Signing up sponsors. Obviously, O'Reilly's is taking back over the title sponsorship. Speedway's come on, not only on our Blizzard Bash, but they're also sponsoring our points race this whole season. So they're getting involved in a lot bigger way. It's coming along. The April show, more of the details will be out this week. Everything's now set with us and hotels, and everything is set. So that April, I think it's the 28th date. That last weekend there is 100% the dates. So that shows 100% a go.
Nice.
And we've already signed contracts not only for 16 but 17 on that show.
Nice.
17 we're expecting to even do way bigger than the pay down a lot better than the 30. So it's gonna we're probably gonna keep it 30 at the top and pay 30, 20, 10 type stuff. So in
What?
17. So
What?
we're just
Wait a minute.
What's awesome is
Whoa.
3-4 years ago you heard everybody saying how this sport's dying and how it's going to go away.
Yeah, right.
And, we're fighting like heck to keep it around. So we're seeing some awesome drivers and a lot of cars still showing up at Derby. So everybody's doing something right. So I'm not saying it's just us. It's awesome to see good promoters like Johnny and Gumby, those guys out there. And what you guys are doing for the sport is just bringing it all together. So it's a lot of fun.
Did you just say 30, 20, 10?
That's 2017. We're trying to go 30, 20, 10, 5, 2,500, 1,000 features is what we're trying to do for 17.
Well, Josh, there you go. Beat that.
Can Shark and Wagon make it that far? I don't know. That's crazy.
That's
what you're
2017
saying.
still.
That's crazy.
16, that's the biggest thing that we've heard is, man, it drops off from 30,000 to 8,000, and then it goes down from there. And I'm going, guys, 8,000 pays more than almost any Derby did it, a year and a half, 2 years ago. And I understand it's a drop, but we got to get our foot in the door, get everybody coming around year 2. I guarantee it's going to be even better. So the guys who are driving year 1 obviously will have even a better chance of getting it in year 2 and go from there. So, but I don't think we're going to have any problem filling it. My phone just blows up with those 2 shows now. So, yeah it's...
Sam, anyone griping about going from 30,000 to 8,000, don't listen to them. I mean,
that's single payout. That's not the split among team. That's you finish second, you get $8,000.
Brett, you hear these numbers for next year?
Well, I'm thinking.
I think your bigger problem is going to be the tax guy when you get paid $30,000 2 weeks after tax time. To remember that for the next tax time.
Oh yeah.
So it's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, we're trying to do everything we can, and I mean, I got a lot of people who want to be involved, not only in Blizzard Bash, but the April show, and so it was awesome. The event center, or the expo center, just sent me a big newspaper article. It was kind of funny how the city commissioners down there, the county commissioners, put out a big deal about how we are going to become a demolition derby town, and that's what this article was about. And it said that basically they had approved for $18,000 for an engineer to come into town to figure out their exhaust permanently, not just do a temporary fix on it. They've already put in the bond issue for whatever he recommends to get done. And there was a big article about how they want to become a demolition derby town.
Whoa.
And so it's,
Unreal.
I mean, we have their support 100% down the community. And what's cool is on the April show, they're the ones that kind of asked us to come and do it. So I mean, we're changing that community, not only in demolition derby, but also for that city. So it's pretty awesome everything the derby people are doing.
Yeah, it is.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, it's good because I was talking with Tim and Russ after Bash for Cash, and we were just kicking around. They mentioned some numbers of what kind of money that derby brings into that town, and it's the same way out there. I mean, to bring that many people in, and then they're going to go out and eat and drink and all the other stuff.
Buy microphones,
and I mean the money that you guys are bringing in. I mean, it's good that they realize how good our sport is for their city. I mean, it's
roughly $2 million.
Yeah.
Well, it ain't. I mean, when it comes to the city, it's actually the dollar signs they see.
That's all they care about.
Match or whether it's golf, they see the dollar signs. I mean,
and if you make them, they'll do what they can to help it because they want to keep making it.
for sure. Sam, man.
What's great is, I mean, they said that they haven't had an event in that expo center, not only dollar sign wise, but just excitement wise, in the last 25 years. So, I mean, everybody. I mean, it's high paced, high fast, and I'm telling you what, though, Blizzard Bash doesn't have anything on Utah. Holy buckets. That was insane. So
yeah, we saw some hitting.
Sam, man, I appreciate you coming on tonight. We got Tommy Woodbury coming up here in just a few minutes. I hope everything continues to go smooth. Let us know when you get some of those videos out. We'll share those around.
sounds good, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, man. We'll see you later.
Yeah, nice job,
Congrats
Sam.
on the win.
All right, thanks.
See ya. There goes Sam Williams. Team winners out there at Hot Rockin Fourth.
Keel was due. Keel was due. I mean, Keel stuff is put together.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
I've been in his garage. I got to watch it. Their stuff is put together pretty nice,
absolutely.
And he works really hard. He's like one of those guys that he goes in the garage and works like all night long till 4 a.m. and welding and grinding, and he deserved it. I mean,
Absolutely.
a guy that works that hard deserves to win.
I mean,
sometimes.
somebody that puts 2,400 miles in towing to derbies. I mean,
deserves to win.
2
sometimes.
derbies.
Yeah, 2 derbies. That's.
Well, no,
that's
it's
a derby
more than
guy.
that, Brian.
Yeah.
It was 1,200 here, 1,200 back.
Yeah,
That's
you're right.
2,400.
That's 4,800 miles. 2 derbies, 4,800 miles. Jesse's a good dude.
He's a very good
Stop
dude.
back home for an oil change.
You
Away
ain't
he
kidding.
goes again.
That's about
No,
it.
not
too.
true. He
But,
went to California and back in that time for work. He travels all over the country. Sometimes he's like, I message him. He's like, I'm in Buffalo. I'm in Fort Lauderdale. I'm in Seattle. It's like, what do you?
Well, there's the society around our area, for say, people like that get condemned because of the time and effort they put in their cars. I think they should be rewarded,
Yes.
and it shows it.
Yes.
And there's a lot of drivers that do it that just run into bad luck or whatever you want to use for an example.
On the topics of rewards, you can check it out here coming up this weekend. Keystone Nationals. Have a look.
Are you good enough to be recognized as a reckless warrior? Bo Lockwood Motorsports 2015 Demolition Derby schedule will now be combined into the Reckless Warrior Tour, designed to give rewards and recognition to drivers that support Bo Lockwood Motorsports. To the Keystone Nationals, which has moved to the Westmoreland County Fairgrounds June 27th. The Jefferson County Fair Championships follows, with the limited road cars back in the limelight as they chase a $3,000 payday in Brookville, with the Reckoning 2 following on August 1st at the Clarion County Fairgrounds in Clarion, Pennsylvania. The series finishes with the final encounter September 4th and 5th at the Stoneburg County Fair. In all, there is more than $75,000 in prize money available among the 6 shows and features some of the largest purses in the Keystone State. Drivers will earn points based on their feature appearances and heat and feature finishes, with bonuses awarded for passing inspection and getting a stick on the first try. The season will end with a points bank where Bo Lockwood Motorsports will crown the deadliest warrior. That driver will then have his selection of one of the 10 prizes from the Reckless Warrior partners. For more details on the 2015 Reckless Warrior Tour, visit their Facebook page and check out blmotorsports.net. The Wadena Grand Slam returns to the 2015 schedule, booked for the 15th of August at the Wadena County Fairgrounds. Start time is 2 p.m. It's a 4-man full-size team derby along with a 2-man team compact derby. Maximum space for 32 small car teams. 80s Newer Chain Truck will pay $1,200 to win. The top 5 are bringing money home. The 80s Newer Chain division is back, paying $1,200 to win, and the top 5 are being paid. The Power Wheels are on the agenda as well, with 2 groups, age 4 to 6 and ages 7 to 9. Information and registration information is available on www.wecrash.proboards.com under the National Big Money Events. Ultimate Derby's Blizzard Bash is back this fall. The hallmark of the Kansas Expo Center's Derby schedule in Topeka, Kansas has been expanded to 4 days this coming November. The event will include something for every fan within Demolition Derby. Inspection opens November 11th with a heat draw party in the Vendors Arena. Action starts November the 12th at 7 p.m. with the National Team Bracket and the Qualifying Team Bracket opening rounds. Action returns Friday, November the 13th with National Bracket and Team Bracket Round 2. The 80s Mod Heats and the 80s Leaf classes are also on the card. Saturday's card includes the 1,000 to win RC Derby planned for 1 o'clock in the afternoon at the vendors area right in the Ski Inc. Pavilion. That's before the full-size cars take the track at 6 o'clock with B features for both the team brackets, the 80s Consi, the stock one and dones for Old Iron, the 80s and the compacts, the Power Wheels Youth Division, and Pro Mods are also on Saturday's card. Championship Sunday rolls off at noon with modified compacts and Old Iron leading the charge. Then trucks, the 80s feature, and the qualifying bracket feature leading to crowning the national championship in the team finale. All the action is available on pay-per-view and is presented in part by Speedway Motors, O'Reilly Auto Parts, in addition to DerbyTees.com, Near It Sliders, Ski Inc., Chambliss Welding, and Ultimate Derby. Don't forget, Ultimate Derby has Capital Carnage right around the corner, April 22nd to 24th, a $30,000 to win event is set for that last weekend of April, right back at the Expo Center in Topeka, Kansas. For more information, visit www.blizzardbash.com or www.ultimatederby.com. The Crash Course would like to thank DerbyParts.com, an industry leader in aftermarket parts. DerbyParts.com has become the go-to source for builders looking to make one stop for all their derby needs. A proud partner of the Reckless Warrior Series and a title sponsor at the Bash for Cash, DerbyParts.com offers products from the top manufacturers in the industry, including fellow Reckless Warriors partners Brian Muir and Big Rock Derby products, and performance aftermarket standouts MSD, Edelbrock, Schonfeld, and Samson Tires. Inventory includes cradles, Ultra Bell, sliders, flex plates, pedal kits, mounts, fans, radiators, adapters, tanks, and much, much more. DerbyParts.com truly offers one-stop shopping for builders ready to perform at any level. Go online and check them out. From bumper to bumper, you can find it on DerbyParts.com.
And we are back. Tommy Woodbury joining us here on the DerbyParts.com hotline as well, fresh off of qualifying for the 10,000 Win Northeast Championship. Tommy, got to believe that you feel a little bit like you're owed something after last year. You had a little bit of trouble there. Ended up kicking a couple rear tires and then had some motor troubles, and you certainly had a car that was plenty straight when you loaded it back on the trailer.
Yeah, I had a lot of car left last year. I'm actually not qualified yet. I won a hometown derby on Saturday. I came one spot short of qualifying Friday at Brockton when I blew the air tube off the intake. The car shut off.
Oh, my mistake. I thought you've already got that spot locked up. So I guess we're going to change the course of questioning. How important is it to get qualified earlier in the week, and now you got to run your tail off in the team format show?
I'm pretty nervous about it. We've been putting a lot of hours in the shop. My team car, we just put a transmission in it yesterday because it was junk, and it's not really close to being done, but I got a lot of help, and we'll have that thing there. I got 3 other cars to get done, so I'll be ready.
I mean, in terms of getting qualified early on, how important is it when you look at the whole scheme of the Northeast Championship? It's 2 weekends now. It's 3 days the first week, then you got all week to work on getting your repairs and stuff together, and then you move into actual championship weekend where you've got the team format show and you've got a lot of some of that other periphery stuff where you can kind of squeeze in. You've got rental cars out there available, but does it take the pressure off by getting in early?
It would have taken a lot of pressure off to be qualified this weekend. I've been just scratching my head all weekend after that happened. I really felt I had it won. The car was really straight, wasn't hurt bad at all, and not even hot when the thing quit on me. But I'll do my best on Thursday, Friday, hopefully be qualified by then.
As a side note, congratulations again for picking up the win. What show was that?
It was a little Stoney Roberts show.
Okay.
I was right in my hometown, 10 minutes from home. Yeah, hadn't run last year, and just because the car was easy to fix, we decided to go.
Right. It does.
I took the tranny and the heat in it, and ended up running a Corolla that I borrowed from a friend, and got lucky.
In terms of that team format show, you got Duncan back on the team along with Meathead and Zach.
Meathead.
No, Meathead has retired.
Okay.
Picked up my buddy Mark Jones, who actually was the highest finishing guy from Vermont feature last year.
Right. It's a good addition.
Mark Jones.
And I heard, I'm blanking on his name. I can't believe I'm blanking on his name. He ran the wheels off of it in the V8 show at the first part of the week up there. He's always out of his mind. He's from up in your neck of the woods.
Gotta be more.
Oh, yeah. I can't remember.
I can't
Justin Bolter.
Yes, he did pretty well.
Yeah.
Now, Tommy, I heard that on your team, you were the guy that was going to sandbag the whole time. Is that true, or you were the sandbag?
Yeah, I don't know where the skinny pedal is. I hope to be able to float it through there and have a straight car when we're done.
You know, I gotta say, last year at Brockton was the first time I got to meet all them guys from Vermont. Probably just a great group of guys. You know how like some groups of guys you just get along with real good, and Gully was out there, we were out there, Ryan Deal, and we got along with Vermont so well. Just they like junk and shit like us, really, is what it comes down to.
It's right in your wheelhouse, Chuck. Chuck Bowman joining us here in the studio. Chuck is coming in with a save this week. He's breaking out of his comfort zone. He's going to be running a camera with me tomorrow night at Yates County Fair, and he's going to be doing it solo for me on Saturday, which is going to be a huge help.
That's scary.
It frees
When Chris
us up.
starts screaming, okay, just plug your ears and just keep doing what you're doing.
It's the best way to do it. It's the easiest way.
Just walk away.
But
Just walk
won't
away.
be there
nice,
Saturday, so it's
nice simple builds out there, and it's right in your wheelhouse because they do a crazy job. Another fun guy to watch is Chad Ricketts, another out-of-town guy that always breaks into that show and seems to do fairly well, Tommy.
Yeah, Chad does a real good job. I've known Chad and his father for a long time, and helped Chad with some stuff over the years, but they're great builders anyway. That's right in their wheelhouse, stock build, stuff they're really good at.
Blindfold race, Wahoo came away with that, so he's qualified.
Wahoo.
Yes.
Yep, definitely.
Gary Spox.
Yeah, we all know Gary.
I see there was a picture of a big fire up there that made the paper too.
Yeah, I seen that also.
I didn't catch the fire. What happened
Oh yeah,
there?
there was a big fire.
It was a good sign. whole
Big.
car was inside.
Boy,
Yeah.
Gary's fun when he comes down to the Derby party.
Isn't
Gary
Gary?
cracks me up.
Gary scares the hell out of me.
Yeah, no. This year he was way more calm than the first year. The first year he come in full of piss and vinegar. He was
Yeah.
fucking up.
Especially at the bar afterwards.
Yeah,
that
that's
was
always where the fun comes out.
that was intense.
Yeah, it's
That
because he was
something.
hustling pool and got called on it.
Oh, it's funny.
Tom, is there anybody that Vermont really wants to get their hands on in terms of the team
I
show?
was just gonna ask that.
Yes. There's been so much trash talk leading up to this.
I think everybody knows who we want. We want the best. You got a team down there with two guys already in the feature, and they've won it twice already. We want our crack at those boys because they're the best.
Right.
Good answer.
So that would be
Not to
Massachusetts.
mention there's a guy on there that likes to talk a lot, but that makes it fun too.
Well, that'll make it better. That'll make it more fun when he snap his neck. You know?
Wow, spiraling.
You know.
Have
Well,
a lot of fun. Busting balls, whatever it's got to be. It makes a better show for the fans if there's a little bit of rivalry there when you hit the track. It makes all the drivers step it up a whole nother notch. I love it.
I think that's what happened around here. You know, everybody started getting along instead of hating. And I remember going to Waterloo, and everybody would have Piss on Benjamin stickers on his car, and
And that-
and
Absolutely.
That song came out at the perfect time. That old song is all about the Benjamin. Had it on their cars.
That year there, they literally knocked the fence down.
Oh, yeah.
But getting back to the fan, no, that's no joke.
No, I know.
We had to get escorted out by the police.
I know. Those are fun times, but also it's not what you want.
But how about when you guys used to be feuding in your hometown?
Well, that's what I'm getting
That's
at.
the only place.
That's
never
on Wednesday.
happened.
You'll see it in 2 days, Ryan.
That's the only place.
I'm telling you, this is no lie. This is no lie.
Hang on, let Brian finish his thought because
He's going to say the same thing that I'm going to say.
I have never in my life. I've seen 500 derbies easy. The only place I've ever seen a derby where a guy came out of a car and started fist fighting. They stopped the fist fight, put everybody back in the car, and they continued the derby.
That's what I knew what he was going to say.
I swear to God on my kid's life. And the fight broke out, and Ben and I were standing at the far end of the track. Once the fight broke out, the car stopped running, so I went down on the track to watch the fight. Right. The cops were like, all right, that's it, everybody back in here. Never mentioned
the derby started, and Brian's running to get off the track.
Absolutely.
Jesse come out of his window, and I'm telling you, like lightning.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking
Jesse's
now.
a big dude.
He climbed
was quick.
We're talking the other end of the track. The derby's still going. I mean, cars are getting hit.
You weren't there that night?
No.
Wow.
He was only 10.
That's true.
So Jesse comes through his window across the hood.
Way younger.
Across the other guy's hood. I think it was
one of the Robbie's
it was one of the
brothers,
Browns.
wasn't it? Yeah. And just
started swinging. I mean, it was bad.
That's old school demolition.
And I thought, Brett, honestly, I thought you were going to go one of two
Oh,
other
man.
directions. First, I thought you were going to turn the attention back to Broome County, and when Pete Hansen did his best impression of a lawn dart through that guy's front windshield.
No, that was in. That
was-
was
No, that was down in PA. That was down.
that was Charlottesville.
That was Charlottesville.
Oh yeah.
And or conversely, bring it around to well, really, the way that Josh even got on the show was in that fist fight with the Wilkins over in Penn
Foreman started that. I was just helping Foreman out.
The first time I met Raya, he was in the winners where they pay the winners where you used to go up in the cow barn. I went up to shake his hand, and he stood there prepared for me to take a swing at him when I went out. And he won second or third that year, but there was so much hostility back then that he was nervous that this guy might hit me. And I was like, I just wanted to shake his hand.
That's not even no lie. When it gets that aggressive, you're like,
yeah. Oh, you had to be.
You don't know if somebody's going to be knocking your head off or what. You got to be ready.
Tommy, you guys still get a little bit of that up there where you're at, right?
We get a little rivalry. It's not as bad as it used to be. A few of the guys that were the biggest trouble don't really run anymore.
Who's that?
We gained a little bit of rivalry with a few guys out of Mass. We run a couple derbies in New Hampshire and Massachusetts where we were able to turn up the wick a little last year, and they liked running against us, and they'd like to knock us down a little bit, I think.
You excited about Hopkinton this year?
I'm pre-registered for Hopkinton. If I get the cars done or not, that's the problem.
You still got a lot of time. You got tons of time.
Oh, yeah. Always got a lot of time.
Thinking.
I got building 2 cars for my wife for Brockton, plus the 2 cars I'm bringing. Built new drivetrain for my car for the feature. It's been a kind of a pricey winter.
Actually, on a side note, I haven't heard anything. Her sign did show up, right?
Yes,
Okay.
I got it. It's perfect.
All right, good.
He started having SWAT roll down.
I did.
He did, too.
I did. As soon as
He stopped you up.
he
Wait
said
a minute.
He's got 2 cars to build for her, and I'm like, yeah, that went out a while ago, but I didn't hear that it showed up. Somebody in the wrong part of town is enjoying a very nice roof sign.
Very nice.
Would be the first time that sort of thing has happened.
Nope.
We had some T-shirts making detour once.
That did happen too.
Not good.
Yeah, not
You went to
strong.
retrieve them though. They're all good.
It happened. Al Crockett is coming through and assist for Steerface Racing. Their shirts were done and they went in the mail, but they're leaving for the Brockton tomorrow morning. So I wouldn't be able to get them to them before they left. So all of their shirts are going to Al's house,
Nice.
and Al's going to bring them over to the ground so they have their stuff. And there's some other. Al's house is going to turn into an impromptu post office this week.
Reckless abandon.
I asked him if it was okay if I had some stuff sent to him. He said, "Yeah, how much? Just a couple shirts or something." Little does he know it's going to be like 15 boxes.
Say 300 or 3,000 shirts.
Well, Tommy, man, I appreciate you making some time. I hope you get qualified. Best of luck in the team show. It's going to be a ton of fun out there.
Yeah, I've seen that driver's list of the guys that have already qualified. There's a lot of guys that just have a thing to prove now. They don't have to worry about winning. It's going to be really tough.
What would it mean to you to come away with a win in the Northeast Championship show?
I'd be speechless. I really don't know. That not only winning a show like that with the competitors they have would be top notch, I think, for anybody in the Northeast. But boy, I could use that money to pay off some bills. That's for sure.
Well, we wish you the best of luck. I know. I've already gone out and said Al Crockett was my pick to win it this year, but that puts all the pressure on him, and that means he'll get all the bad luck, and it'll open the door for you, right?
I sure hope so. I really like running with Al too. He's helped me out a bit here this last week too. So.
He's been a real good dude, man, and I hope you guys fare well this weekend.
Yes, we will. We'll be supporting a lot of your signs, so hopefully we do real well.
Awesome, man. Appreciate it. Best of luck.
All right, thank you.
There goes Tommy Woodbury, who, after all, is not yet qualified. I misunderstood the results that were coming in through the course of the weekend.
It's funny that he says that because, like, the team that he says he's going to go after, that talks a lot, did happen to win the last couple of years. I think it won last year at their team, which, like, kind of boggled my mind a little bit because you would think when you, like, trash talk 5 teams and you're one team, the numbers would play out, but it didn't. You know, they got lucky. Luckily, Tommy's going to take care of it this year for us.
Vermont won the team format, and New Hampshire had a driver qualify last year, I believe, wasn't it?
No, last year was different. That was the year before that, right? Or was it?
I thought that was last year. The first year they tried the team stuff.
I don't know. I just remember one team just had a big mouth.
When Woodbugger started, that was that first like big 4,000 or 5,000 show, right?
I don't know. I mean,
That's when it started. Was back that one, the first one you went up there.
It was
and
at the
won, right?
motocross track.
Yeah, and that was the one you won, and then it's turned into the Northeast Nationals.
That was 5,000 to win. And I got to tell you, that was my favorite feature win I've ever did. I mean, not so much the money, but the winning shot. You know, let's face it, I don't step on the gas much.
Never.
The winning.
Wait a minute, but how about all them cars he's junked to yours?
Well, that was. I guess you're right.
That was the winning shot. I rolled a guy, and so it was 5,000. It was in New Hampshire, which I've never derbied in.
Yeah.
It was great time. It was rolling a guy on a winning shot. It was just a memorable time, and it was and the mans treated me great, and
they
it was,
are really good people. Awesome, I mean, yeah,
they are good people. I got nothing. I have absolutely nothing bad to say about those guys.
Jim
at all.
is true derby. You know, like he's old.
He was
school,
begging
loves
you,
it.
please let me stay in the car.
When a man
Little
holds
does he
his
know the
hands like
tires
this
about to
and
mash his
goes,
skull.
Please let me run.
well, there was, me and Josh talked about it. We were,
Josh and I.
He couldn't. It was just too far gone. His safety was in jeopardy.
But we've all been there where you don't care. In that moment, I remember him just looking up saying, like, please, I'll smoke him. And it's like, well, let him smoke him. I said to him, and Mark Benjamin's like, no, man. I'm like, let him smoke him.
It's funny on the tape. You can see you're like doing this, and Mark's like, no, he's done. And then Mark stood up and gave the sign.
But I've been in Jim Mann's spot. Mark is used to, and Mark was right. That was
Mark thought he heard me on the radio saying, let him run. I said, Mark, I didn't even have a radio. I didn't have a radio.
Me yelling, and I was trying to sell myself. No, his car was, I mean, when Danny, you could see his gas tank.
Yeah.
Ben was knocking on it.
I was sitting right there.
You know who's
right outside my door. He was going to get killed the next shot.
The next shot was.
And Danny, when he gets in that state of mind, Danny will run it. I mean,
yeah. He was going to give it again. He wasn't about that. It was nice.
Good jumping off point here is you were talking about seeing the gas tank. You could see Scott Keefer's gas tank.
And then
last year.
Man, I felt bad.
At Yates County. We talked about all the hits and stuff, and Chuck Bowman's going to get a chance to go down there and get as close as you've ever been to Yates County at the Cuca Clash program tomorrow, and then coming up again on Saturday. Are you excited about getting down there and seeing?
Yeah, I went down and watched it last year. It seemed to be a good show last year.
So I'm excited to go back.
Scott, man, you excited about getting back to Penn Yan?
Oh yeah, I'm going back. I'm watching this year, but
so at this point,
I got some health issues I need to take care of. But I believe next year I'm going to hit it again.
That's excellent to hear.
Good to hear.
Very good to hear. Last year, I think
got a boy and a nephew driving Saturday.
It was your son that turned around and came in second to Brian France on Saturday's program after you guys welded a roof back on the car.
Yeah.
That was
got my son Zach. Yeah, he just welded a cage in it and took it to the weld class and happened to get lucky.
And Brian France coming away with the win in that show last year.
Yes.
Where else are you guys looking to run this year?
Well, I know they're running Bath also.
Mm-hmm.
Nephew's running Bath. And Cannistrega again, they got the Ken Trigger's got 2 shows in the fall,
Mm-hmm.
so we're going to be running that.
Nice.
Very cool.
So I mean, take us through that moment last year when that Cordoba come right up over the roof and took it and sent the entire roof skin peeling all forward over the top of your head.
Well, it happened so fast that it was like I didn't really know what happened. You know what I mean? It was, and I knew something happened because I saw the roof.
I sat in the stands watching that, and I was about 50 feet from you, Scott. And I had my kids with me, and I'm like, do you run down there? No matter what, you can't get to them.
Yeah.
So you're like, it's one of them, like, seeing a train wreck. You want to look, but you don't want to look, and you're praying that he's okay. But I'm here to tell you, where I was, it did not look good.
But I think everyone run down there to help.
Yeah.
Like if you can help, get down there. Because what do we do? Pick the car up? We didn't know, but it was a swarm of guys.
You look at the seat. The seat was back right over backwards from the tire.
Yeah.
How far was that tire from your head, Scott?
The bumper hit me in the helmet. And
Literally, no
like I
roof.
said, it was so quick, and I turned to my right, and I couldn't turn because the tire was laying there, actually laying on my shoulder.
Yep.
But I mean, it's one of those cases where you said one of the times before when we talked, your biggest concern wasn't about being injured. You're seeing a few stars and stuff, but you weren't necessarily hurt. Your concern was if that guy didn't realize what had happened, and that was a rear tire, and he'd put it in drive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
I thought I was actually trying to push the car off me. I thought he was going to try to get off me.
Yep.
And that would have tore me up,
It would have been rough. And the
Eventually,
best,
God, it was a front tire, and I can talk about it today.
miraculously so, and having gotten out of the car, walked around and everything, and you're none the worse aware, it was wonderful to see. And I want you to reiterate again one of the things that you talked about. I don't remember if you talked about it on the show, if it was just a private conversation. What your thoughts are on the roof bar in that situation?
Well, it's hard to say. I think it would have helped, but maybe it wouldn't have.
Mm-hmm.
The collapse on me, it could have broke it.
Right.
Well, there's no doubt. I mean, some people are better welders than others. Some people use better equipment than others.
True.
If you had, light steel and you're welding it with a flux core welder that you didn't burn in, it could have done worse damage.
Yeah, it could have been a guillotine.
Yeah, that's true. But I believe it would have helped.
Forget all that. It's all got to be
because
quality and safety.
when you have a halo bar, I like to make 2 chains through the body and the top of the roof,
Yep.
and hook to the halo bar.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would have helped.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
A halo
It
bar
would
definitely
have had to peel that off
Providing it was safe.
also
I've
out
seen
of the
some
chain,
scary
and that would have been
stuff.
difficult probably.
That's interesting. One of the conversations I had with somebody said that the halo bar absolutely would have done counter to what it was because the halo bar wouldn't have given the sheet metal any place to go. Ergo, the sheet metal would have accordioned down underneath that bar. It would have stopped the Cordoba, and that sheet metal would have piled right on top. Which is,
You could say what if a million times, but at the end of the day, a halo bar is there for safety.
at the end of the day, the halo bar wasn't there, and Scott's fine.
Yep.
Well, yes, on
So,
that. But what this should
that's
be
what
showing,
the rules allowed.
That's what it should be showing drivers is as you stand in your driveway 2 nights before and you're about to paint your car. Sometimes
We talked
when you
about
say screw it or because we all done it, right? As we're getting older, sometimes that screw it is your last screw it or could be.
Right.
So we need to be like sometimes it's on yourself to stop being 18 years old and be whatever your age is and say like, you know what, I'm going to weld that well. I'm going to put a halo bar on it because I want to be lazy tonight. I'm going to spend the time put the halo because look at what could have happened here.
Oh, absolutely.
Now he got lucky on this one, but the next guy might not.
But
get.
we still don't have the answer.
Yeah, no,
what
there's
Chris
no
is saying is he's here. So if we could take it back, fine. No halo bar for that car. No roof bar. He made it. He's here. But the
Who
question
cares what
is,
the rules allowed at that
but
point?
the question
because
is
he made it.
what is better?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. Going into your guys' show this year, I got brand new steel from Josh, and I gave Ben a couple bucks to put a cage in for me, and he built the best cage I've ever had.
I'm here to tell you, if Ben puts a cage in,
Oh, yes.
it is not coming out because I've had him put cages in for me, and I can't even cut him out of a car.
I know.
Not to mention
That's where I'm at.
knocking him out. I mean, if Ben puts because I like running my cage over and over.
Yeah.
If he puts a cage in,
No,
you might as well just junk the car. It's done.
It's
I
it.
mean,
But
you ain't gonna. I've tried cutting my cage out, and like I gotta try to cut the door open to cut the cage, to get under the cage, to get
Junk it with it in it. Junk it with it in. I don't do all that work.
Because by the time you're done cutting it, there ain't nothing left anyways.
But real quick, we just talked about a Halo. Is it worth it or not? Of all the derbies we've ever seen, what happened to Scott? We've only seen one time.
Yep.
Well,
Thank
how
God.
many times have we seen rollovers, which a Halo is made for?
You're right.
A lot of times. So to say a Halo is not beneficial is like crazy to say that.
Well,
in this circumstance, maybe. But how often does that happen?
But the thing is, though, is like Brett said, though, is if you have a Halo that's not welded by somebody that's talented
worse.
like Ben, it's going to be worse because
You
it's
say that
going
about any safety
You're right.
item. You
Well,
say that
no,
about-
not
How many?
necessarily.
about
No,
the door bars,
I know what you're saying. I know what Josh is saying there. He's saying if you don't put your door bars in the right way, you're taking the dash bar out and handing it to an official, like we
We
saw.
saw
Winter
that
That's
Fest.
exactly right.
Listen,
You got a roll bar on a round back wagon that comes off when it gets T-boned at 30 at Brookfield Wheel Day.
I ran
Yes.
one of the Syracuse Nationals, and it come down to me, Dan Godfrey. I hit Dan in the passenger doors. His damn side bar broke loose from his dash bar, and he's holding it with his hand like he's gonna hold it there. I'm like, what are you doing? No, honest to God. So I'm looking down. He's pointing. He's pointing to his dash, the bar that moved way over, and it's not even hooked to his dash bar. You know, him being a friend and a competitor, whatever. I didn't want to hit him. So now I can't hit him in the driver's door. I can't hit him in the front because he's hired me. I can't hit him in the passenger door because his damn door bars broke loose.
So how'd you beat him?
He beat me. Yes, he did. No, he beat me. The son of a bitch blocked me in.
Probably your motor and
And
training.
it was. You know what the worst part was? This is he pushed me in the. He says to me, "Well, let me win. I've never won up here. I want to win it. You've won." I says, "Well, we'll see." Well, come down to me and him, and I was playing around. I was running good. I mean, they weren't beating me. Well, I couldn't hit him in none of the front, the passenger door is the driver's door. So we're playing around. He hits me in the rear, pushes me in the corner because he's got a Cadillac with a big block in it, and he holds me there. So I'm not burning a hole in the ground or nothing. And all of a sudden, JM walks up to me and says, "You better get moving." I'm like, he's blocking me in. So what does Danny do?
Nothing.
He moves his column shifter like he's stuck, right?
Oh, dude. Right.
JM looks in the car. He says he can't back up. I said I didn't tell him. He's got a floor shifter in it, and he's moving the column shift up and down. I held that right flat to the floor. There was smoke. There was sparks.
That's awesome.
He got out and laughed at me all the way home. I says, "You're lucky you're still giving me half the money."
That's awesome.
Beat me with my own car by blocking me in. He got the good trophy.
Oh, it's upsetting. Story of your life.
Oh God.
That's, you know the Halo bar issue there. Say if you were to, they were to make it mandatory in the derbies, would you have to have an inspection on it?
You'd have to.
Yeah.
You'd have to through
I'm saying-
inspection. Yeah, I mean, there's no question. You have to put some attention to that to make sure that's not welded
It's no
in
different
and properly.
than the cage.
Well,
You're
I'll
looking
tell
at
you
the
what
cage.
though,
I
I was at your guys' show. There was a couple cars there that had some Halo bars that weren't as beefy as I thought they would be, and especially from the drivers. And I'm like, man, I figured they'd have something more, but I don't know. It's strange.
Again,
I mean,
a lot of people don't think they're a necessity. They're just putting them on there because.
Of course, you got
cool.
Chalk. I buy his car after the derby. He walks up. He says, "Hey, I gotta get my battery out of that." I said, "All right, bud." I pay him. He's gone like 2 minutes. I'm like, he opens the door up, pulls the battery out, and away he goes. I'm like, didn't he have that strapped down? I don't.
I don't know if you noticed that Chuck is similar to Vern. And he just put his hand on it. When he's not shifting, he just put his hand on it.
That's why I'm lost in the cage conversation. I hire.
But how awesome is it for Chalk to come on the show? We've got Sam Williams on. We talk about Keystone Nationals, and he comes in and gets to sit next to Josh Decker. This has got to be.
Lucky guy.
I was just gonna tell you, ratings went up with me
Yeah.
sitting there.
That's probably true.
you know,
But
you know-
Scott, man, we do have to catch one more break,
Okay,
and
go
we'll
ahead.
come back to this conversation quickly. Scott, man, I appreciate you coming on. Yates County Fair is this week, Tuesday, $1,200 to win for the feature, and on top of that, they've got $350 win for the heats based on 12-car field. Look forward to seeing your boy and your nephew down there, Scott. Thanks for coming on the show.
Yep, we'll see you guys tomorrow night. Take care, guys.
We'll see you, man. Thanks, Scott. Thankful that he is thankful that Scott is still with us to have that quick conversation. We do have to make one more quick break. We'll be right back.
Demo Derby Masters offers a wide array of stock Derby parts and accessories that have all been Derby tested. Demo Derby Masters also offers custom fabrication, meaning your homespun garage idea can become a finely produced reality. Their team of engineers and Demo Derby drivers have designed, manufactured, and Derby tested all parts to ensure quality and durability, even under the most extreme conditions. DemoDerbyMasters.com also carries a full line of helmets, fire suits, gloves, and belts, and Kaiser's own branded oils and fluids. Parts are manufactured, housed, and shipped out of their 140,000 square foot facility located in Coopersville, Michigan. Order online at DemoDerbyMasters.com or contact them by phone at 800-472-2464 or email info@DemoDerbyMasters.com.
And we are
My cousin
back.
lives out there. He'll build it for me.
Here we go with, you said,
you guys
Brian had a quick thought real quick before we went to that last break.
I think Chuck is the first one from our area that we've had on the show that actually likes us, man. We're making a little progress finally. I think Chuck's one of the few guys in the area that likes us. So
I know, right?
That's kind of cool. Good for us.
Andy Lee's been on a couple times. He's got his graduation party on Saturday, but he likes us. He's been on.
One of the few. Well, he likes you. I'm not so sure. And Josh. Probably Brett.
He doesn't like
I don't know about me, but
He does like Brad.
But
No.
that's right, because he beat Hartzell last year at Waterloo. That's right. That's why he doesn't like him.
the almost world famous Alan has been hanging out with us here. He wanted to talk about his trip down to the Carolinas real quick and just say good luck to everybody that's running this week. And then Josh had something that you wanted to ask.
Yeah, I do
him as
want to
well,
ask
right?
him.
So here, jump in there quick, man.
So we were at Walmart one day, and I said, "Daddy, can you believe I'm almost 6?" And he said, "When's your birthday?" And I said, "September 4th." And he said, "You need to go back to school."
Why did you have to go back to school? Because your birthday's on September 4th.
Oh, that hurts.
Of course it's not. It's September 3rd.
Perfect. But
Alan,
Josh,
listen, this is what I want.
hang on, let's get it over
Yeah.
to.
Well, over him. Well, Alan, right? Your dad's never drove a derby car, right? You definitely want to drive one before your dad, right? Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Shake your head. Yeah, you should have it on him because he's shaking his head. Okay, so again, if you could Power Wheels derby, you would do that, right?
Yes.
You would definitely do that? Okay, so if Decker made sure you had a Power Wheels, you would derby there. You're going to say that to your dad, right? Dad, I want a Power Wheels derby.
Say, well, when?
When?
When is this happening?
Whenever Alan wants to.
When do you want to?
Now.
Now?
Don't see you Wednesday night. I'll see you Wednesday.
Wednesday's pretty close, buddy. You talk Daddy into coming down. We'll have one ready for you Wednesday.
Done deal.
We'll have to see what Mom thinks about that because she was watching all night.
It's a guarantee now. You have to do it.
Yeah,
man.
I know.
You can't say no.
I know. You
All
can't.
right, your kids love a Power Wheel.
Yes.
When I don't come here, she never watches it.
She watched.
Truth comes out.
Well,
She messaged me. She said she
Careful.
was watching you. You know, Pork Chop and his boy, they're watching right now.
Yep. He just messaged me.
well, when I'm there, I never see her turn it on, and I look at the computer and it's empty.
Well, that's usually because you guys are in the bathtub. We're gonna go ahead and segue away from that.
Throw the truth out every time. That's awesome.
Kids don't lie, man.
No, that's awesome.
So, how about the derby that you were having today?
It wasn't a derby; it was a race.
Oh, right, that's right. We're Daytona.
Firecracker 400.
Coke 400, I think is
Whatever.
what it is now. Firecracker 400 was on. We were watching some highlights of that, and he had like 40 race cars strewn out all over the living room, and did a whole race, and it ended, and every car was upside down. And
I had 28. I didn't have
28. Rain Man.
We know where that comes from.
How many toothpicks?
Alan, when you have derbies, I know you have a Josh Decker car, you have a Josh Buell car. I've heard you have a Brian Tompkins car, but do you have a Brett Relier car?
It's
Who's
the one that
that?
still has headlights in it and wins all the time.
Yeah, I was gonna say you gotta have a Brett Relier car.
You have a
'cause
cheated
he's-
car?
He's the one that wins all the time. So you got to make sure whenever you have a derby now that Brett Relier is in it because he's the one that wins all the time. Okay.
Yeah, but I already have one ready. As soon as I started, I pretty much planned that I had one.
Okay, that's good.
Hey, Alan, when you get bigger, who's going to be your teammate? Who do you want as your teammate when you derby? If you could pick anybody to Derby with you, who would it be?
Dad.
Dad.
Awesome.
Wow.
Really?
Good pick.
And that's going to be in the Power Wheels, right, bud?
There's a lot better picks you could make.
I'll put a.
Who else did you want to drive with you? I thought you wanted those guys. Right?
We want to see Brian in the Power Wheels.
Absolutely. If you get one big enough to carry me, I'm in it.
That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome to see.
That would be funny.
I ain't not saying that it'll move, but we'll get one.
It's got to move or I can't do it, man. I can't
put
just
a
sit there.
lawnmower engine in it.
That's awesome.
Well, funny, back in the day, this came a little late, but way back in the day, my son had a Jeep. Well, the battery, the little battery, he'd run it for like 20 minutes and it'd die. Mm-hmm. And my father, Chuck can vouch for this, is one of those guys that can fix anything. So Dad takes it in his garage, does a little work, puts Zach in it and says, go. Zach steps on the gas and it does a wheelie. He'd put a 12-volt car battery in it.
Nice.
He had to end up putting concrete in the front so he could run, and that thing would run for hours. I think we went through 2 motors on it.
Yep.
Richie's got a 12 car battery and the one he just got from you.
Yeah. Oh,
No,
yeah.
Jesse Keel showed me that there's a website that you
Oh,
can
yeah.
buy and turn it into 36 volt.
Oh, yeah.
And he has a
Yeah,
video
this
of
is
his
that
kid
place we
doing
talked about
40.
from.
Yeah.
Remember Wadena? We
Yeah,
talked about this
yeah.
place that has this. It's like this go-to place. Josh Homan, he's got like 40 of them now. He goes by
seen him,
Hemi,
I've seen him, yeah.
and he goes all over the place. And it's like a traveling road show. He shows up with all these Power Wheels, and kids can rent them out and stuff. It's pretty cool. And so we'll have to go home and talk to Mom a little bit about that. But do you have any final thoughts here before we get off tonight?
No.
Nothing. What about your shirts?
Oh, yeah.
What?
What about your shirts?
Just say bye. and-
What shirts?
Good talk, Alan. That's how.
Dad, it's going to happen. That's world
Remember?
famous, man. That's the most famous saying in Derby
that
today.
shirt.
I'm putting it on my van this year. It's gonna happen.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Remember how you're going to roll Brian and you're going to roll Josh, and now you're being nice to him. They're going to be your
Brian,
teammates.
I'll call him out and I'll hit him, just like you.
Alan, you said you were going to roll me over?
Remember that?
Yeah, but I forgot I said that.
That'll happen on live TV. But Brett, man, appreciate you coming up again.
Thank you.
Always good to
Let
see
me throw a
you.
couple quick things out there because I'm sitting here and we won't be here next week. And then
That's
it'll
right.
be like straight Derby season.
Then it's going to
now.
be insane.
King's Old School Team Demolition Derby. Couple
Yes.
quick things. Catskill Fabs is giving away $250
nasty.
tranny coolers to each driver of your team that is the team Mad Dog of the day for the V8
Whoa,
drivers.
check
Feature
that out.
only.
Yeah, so how we're going to do it is it's head up and head to head, and then the 6 teams are going to go the feature. The team that's the Mad Dog is going to win 3 brand new tranny coolers, $250 each. If you've seen the picture, the quality. is
Okay, so
awesome.
the Mad Dog team,
Yes.
not necessarily the overall winners, the Mad
No,
Dog
Mad Dog
team in the
team.
feature.
Mad Dog team
gets
whoever
Catskill
teams
gear.
drives
It
our-
could be the winner.
Well,
Yes.
very well
Not
could
only
be.
that, but Josh Buell and TM Motorsports are making huge trophies for the same 3 guys.
Yeah.
Wow,
Very
that's
so
cool.
the
cool.
Mad Dog team is getting a whole bunch of goodies.
And that's just the beginning of it. We plan on every couple weeks letting out a little bit of what our
That's
plan
it.
is.
Sponsors are coming in already. Of course, I'm looking for more, but sponsors are coming away already. We're going to give a lot of stuff away is the goal. And remember, we got our truck division, a junk run, which is minivans, mini trucks, half-ton trucks. Got our kicker class, open to any year, any make and model.
Are you still giving me show-up money this show?
Absolutely not. This
I
one,
just-
no.
damn.
I'll give you money not to show up. Because I got yelled at about you.
You did.
Twice.
They
3 times at the end of the night, you were real bad.
They didn't. I wasn't bad.
Security. I almost called security on you.
Whatever, dude. We needed Chuck there is what we needed. Chuck would have.
Yeah, Chuck, where were you? at
Chuck would have
2:30 in the
taken
morning?
care of things
When
quickly.
Brian was screaming.
I wasn't.
Well, I won't lie to you. I don't know if Brian was at fault there. I don't even remember.
I just remember Brian screaming. I don't remember what it was about.
Yeah.
I
That
don't
happens
remember what it was
sometimes.
about. But real quick, what else are we giving away there? I guess I'll just leave it at that.
Leave it at that for now. Before Brett makes another show.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Well, it is in the back of my head, and I wanted to let it out, but
December 25th.
so we'll keep people interested.
No, we got a lot of ideas, and I think we had some things that were some
Next
issues
year-
during our last Derby. We are attacking them. There was a bunch of different little things, and we
There's
will
five
make
or
this one
six.
better.
There was 5 or 6 problems, Chris, and hands down they will be addressed.
I was
And they will
talking
be
with Aaron
addressed.
Bunce the other night, and Aaron said that him and Mark talked about some rules and.
The rules have been clarified. They have
Yep.
not been changed per
Yep,
se.
yep, that's what he said.
The things have been as the window bar, the driver's door welded, some safety things.
Simple little stuff that doesn't matter.
The speakers for the announcements, the concession stands, the vendors, all have been addressed. It'll be above and beyond expectation. And all we can do is fix our mistakes and clarify. You know what I mean?
We will have vendors just like last time selling parts, which was great. All of our vendors almost sold out of parts. Mad Mike was like sold completely.
Yeah, nothing left. Only left.
Yeah, so vendors, I still want to take on any vendors that want to come sell some parts, please. I think our area loves it, needs it, wants the parts. So please get a hold of me. Food vendors, we got a couple more. I'd like to. I'm bulking up on food vendors. I'd like people to get a hold of me on that stuff also. And of course, if you want to join team, you got to get with Brett.
Something all the drivers, spectators, vendors, like to have them think about. September's ago, I mean, we're basically full. The excitement, I mean, like you said, Josh, three cars for a team, 6 cars on that track, and the ideas we have behind it.
It's gonna be
that's
crazy.
Going to be hands down awesome.
It's gonna be crazy.
Next year, I mean, basically, it's either going to have to be a car limit or it's going to have to be a 2-day show. I mean, there's no way around it.
I vote 2-day show.
There is no way.
You say that, but then we got to do 2 days of work.
Well,
so do I.
I mean,
days of show is really where it's looking.
It's bad when the state troopers and the mayor are screaming at us and telling us to shut down, and we just virtually can't because it ain't fair to the drivers. I mean, it ain't fair. Don't get me wrong. The drivers pay the spectators pay $10 to get in. They got 12 hours of running. They paid 75 cents an hour to watch Derby. They can say that's too much. Well, leave when you're done. I mean,
actually, we got people saying it was going too long. I guess people don't know that you can just get up and go at any time. You don't actually have to wait till the end. It's crazy.
You're mad because
it went too long. But also, we sold out Arby's. Completely sold the place out of chicken products. They closed at like 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
McDonald's, Subway,
all of that.
But the thing is, though, and I've touched on this too with you guys before, though, is if you go to a good show with that much talent and that much building, it's not going to be a quick show.
It's not fair to the drivers. It's not fair to the kids in the stands. It's not fair for kids like Alan to sit in the stands until 2 in the morning. That's not going to happen. We're not accepting it. It has to be changed.
We'll be done before you. And we did take some flack because we were supposed to be done by 11:30. I guess no one told me this until afterwards, until the whole town told me. But we took some flack for that.
When
but
the
like
state
Brett
trooper
said,
showed up.
The state troopers shut us. Yeah, hey, state troopers, boy. But hey, this time we're going to make it so we don't have a lot of those little problems. And again, we won't want to go till.
And I don't think that it'd be fair to have a car limit. I mean, look at all the people that want to be part of it. The job that Chris does. I mean, the excitement. I mean, I heard all kinds of views you had on that. What was your
15,000 last time?
15,000.
15,000.
Plus, we had 3,500 in the stands. I mean, I don't know how many county fairs you got to go to, but you got to run a lot of baths to get that many people to watch you, right? You got to run a lot of county fairs, and that's for the next Derby. You want to get your name out there. You want to make one nasty hit and get your name out there. All it takes is one shot.
Well, we're going to do it all again Saturday. Live 6:30 right at FigerLakes1.tv with Keystone Nationals. And that is going to be available for nothing.
Free.
Just turn it on. Turn it on and enjoy the show.
People are loving that.
I think that's where
I would sit home and watch a Derby instead of going to travel. I mean, providing it's a long distance away. I physically can't with my business. I can't.
You can't always. You want.
I can't
even go there.
I can't.
You take off whatever you want.
Don't start.
No,
I can't take off. Or let's say whoever you got graduation parties. You got whatever.
Yeah,
if you're 6 hours away, or 8 hours, or 10 hours, or 12. I mean, somebody from California is not going to have time to drive.
Well, Johnny Gullo was bored watching it at a wedding. Charlie.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah, a guy in Maine, Charlie Cummings, is watching it when he's in his rollback. These guys in California are watching it. When would a California guy get to watch Dan Bolton from Morris run a dirt? It's just so crazy because we're bringing the world of derbying. We're really making it smaller. We're really making. And think all the friends, like guys are becoming friends because you're like, well, screw it, Ohio ain't that far because I went to Kansas.
It's true. What's the common denominator in this connection?
Chris Marquardt.
Oh, come on.
Chris Marquardt.
I don't know.
Right.
You're hardest hero.
I don't know about
You're
that.
the Karate Kid, man.
No, it's Mr. Miyagi.
That's true. You are Mr. Miyagi.
I kind of sometimes. I do pull.
The Karate Kid. You can
You could be the Karate Kid.
No, because the Karate Kid was a fan favorite. You got too many haters, buddy.
Out of state, if you go,
Yeah,
you
it's
get
true.
me like,
We're loved.
No, you're not.
I didn't know a fan page could get negative numbers, dude. That was crazy. I finally had to take it down.
You're gonna be rating yourself to that. You'd be that bully there. That.
Oh, that was
absolutely.
Cobra.
Bald Bull? Nope, that's already occupied.
Cobra Kai. No,
At least the people, at least Brett's got 200 wins for people not to like him. I'm not sure why nobody likes you. That's
Well, because he got
this trap.
I'll tell you why.
It is.
I'll tell you exactly why. It's in the bottom. It's in this corner right here. That's why. That's why nobody likes him. Look at that screen right there, right under Chuck's elbow. That's why.
Crash Course?
That's why.
It
Because he came on the show and he never won any high profile shows. And we said, ladies and gentlemen, this is Josh Decker. Everybody should like Josh Decker because Josh Decker's cool.
I seen him win broom once
Shut up.
When was that?
You know, and it's
with my car when he hated me.
Hey. That
Hey,
was the start of a friendship.
because you needed it.
Okay. All right.
Exactly.
All right.
I'll punch you in the mouth.
I've heard that in a month. That's awesome.
No, he told me on the way up
Oh,
there.
okay.
And I think we're done.
Yeah. Let's go get some
Are we
This is
all
awkward.
Are we all done? This suddenly got weird. Chuck, thanks for coming in, man. It was good to see you. Looking forward to you. Thanks again for the help this week. And Josh making the trip up. And most importantly, thank you for helping make those shirts happen. And Brett, of course, again, thank you for helping make those shirts come together. It was good to see you. Brian, always a pleasure.
Absolutely.
Looking forward to this weekend. Leaving bright and early. What time you want to take off?
I don't know, but I'm listening to serious hair metal all the way there.
And I'm sending pictures to Christy King the whole way
What
back
time
home.
do we have to be there?
We are going to
What
be,
time is your first autograph session?
2.
Well, then be there at
so
2.
then you need to be there at least
No,
1:55.
If I get there at like 4, 3, 4.
Fine.
3, 4.
Yep, because you're bringing your whole family down, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
What time are we going on air?
6:30.
You can be there at 6:25.
Because that's
So you
when
bring your girlfriend.
that's when he'll come to the stage.
No, your other ones.
And ladies, here we go. I got that.
Not good.
Got that taken care of. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Episode number 90, if you can believe that. Episode number 90 in the books. Hope to see everybody tuning in live this weekend. 6:30 the start time. Finger Lakes 1.tv for the Keystone Nationals. That is going to do it for us. The awkward ending to yet another Crash Course podcast. We'll see everybody this Saturday. And once again, thanks again to Alan for joining us here in studio. Thanks, buddy.
The Crash Course Podcast is brought to you in part by DerbyParts.com. The 2015 Wadena Grand Slam. Bo Lockwood Motorsports and the 2015 Keystone Nationals. Scioppa Racing and ScioppaRacing.com. Ultimate Derby and Blizzard Bash 2015. Demo Derby Master. Reckless Abandon Derby Apparel at RecklessAbandonGear.com. And Derby Inc. Magazine. Live it, breathe it, be it, Derby Inc. This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby podcast, recorded live at the FingerLakes1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York.